If you're still jumping from machine to machine hoping something finally builds that wide V shape, here's the hard truth: you're wasting time. Because getting that sharp, powerful V taper isn't about doing more exercises. It's about choosing the right ones and mastering them until your back blows out like wings and your shoulders carve into real width. The guys who walk around with that razor-sharp silhouette, they're not doing 25 machines and feeling the burn. They're hammering a small handful of brutal, proven movements that force your body to grow. No fluff, no gimmicks, just results. And in this video, you're getting the only 5 exercises that actually build that wide back, tight waist, and powerful upper body that turns heads instantly. But the first one, most people avoid it because it exposes exactly how strong or weak they really are. Weighted pull-ups. Let's get one thing straight. If your back still looks flat, narrow, or undefined, it's not because you're not feeling the contraction. It's because you're avoiding the one movement that forces your upper body to actually grow. And yeah, I'm talking about the exercise most guys skip the second they realize it's not as easy as sitting on a cable machine. This is the movement that separates lifters who look strong from the ones who are strong. It exposes every weakness you've been hiding: grip strength, scapular control, core stability, real pulling power. There's no pretending here, no leaning back on a machine, no perfect lighting to make your lats look bigger. It's just you, gravity, and the truth. And that's exactly why it builds a V-taper faster than anything else. Weighted pull-ups force your lats to widen, your upper back to thicken, and your shoulders to frame out like armor. Every inch of the movement shifts tension into the exact muscles that create that wing look. The lower lats, the teres muscles, the rear delts, even the long head of your triceps that supports the pull. But the real magic? This exercise loads your entire torso dynamically in a way machines can't even replicate. On a pull-down, the weight moves. On a pull-up, you move. And that difference alone activates stabilizers, deep fibers, and supporting muscles most guys never train. You're not just pulling weight, you're pulling your whole body through space, which triggers growth on a different level. Here's the part nobody tells you. Weighted pull-ups don't just make you look wider, they make you look tighter. The stronger you get at vertical pulling, the more your torso starts to cinch in visually, giving you that aerodynamic shape: broad up top, narrow at the waist, sharp from every angle. And the progression is limitless. Can't get a clean rep? Use bands, do slow negatives, build the pattern, hitting body weight reps easily, add a plate, add 2. Keep climbing. There's no ceiling, only commitment. The pull-up bar exposes how badly you want that V-taper. Because every rep demands control. Every rep forces honest effort. Every rep either brings you closer or reminds you how far you still have to go. And here's the part that stings a little. Most lifters avoid pull-ups because they're uncomfortable, because they're humbling, because they remind you that strength isn't about how much you bench, it's about how you move. But if you want a back that looks carved, athletic, and absurdly wide, this isn't optional. Weighted pull-ups are the foundation, the non-negotiable, the movement that should anchor every back day you do. Because once you start adding weight, 10, 25, 45 pounds hanging from your waist, everything changes. Rows get stronger, deadlifts feel more stable. Even your posture improves because your upper back finally has the strength to hold itself together. This is the king of vertical pulling, the blueprint for a real V-taper, and the first step toward a physique that actually stands out. But pulling power is only half the story. Because if your chest is flat and your shoulders aren't popping, the V-taper falls apart instantly. And that's where the next movement comes in. A press that builds more upper body shape than the flat bench ever will. Exercise number 2, incline dumbbell press. Let's be real. Most lifters are obsessed with their bench press. How much can you move? How many plates are on the bar? They treat it like a badge of honor. But if your chest still looks flat, if your shoulders don't pop in a t-shirt, and if your upper body still looks wide but not sharp, then your bench isn't doing what you think it is. That's because building a V-taper isn't just about size, it's about shape. And for that, the incline dumbbell press is a game changer. Forget the flat bench for a minute. Yeah, it moves big weight. Yeah, it hypes up the ego. But the flat bench overloads your mid-chest, the part that sits flush against your rib cage. It's not the part that pops. The incline hits the upper chest and front delts, the exact muscles that create that lifted, rounded look. The look that turns a decent upper body into one that dominates visually. When you press at an incline, your chest looks fuller, your shoulders sit higher, and your entire torso starts to look elevated, like your upper body is pulling itself upward and outward. That's how you build visual impact. That's how you turn heads walking into a room. And dumbbells? They take it to another level. Barbells are locked, they're symmetrical. They let you hide bad form behind momentum. But dumbbells, they expose everything. Each side works independently. Your stabilizers fire non-stop. Your grip has to lock in. Your range of motion increases. More stretch at the bottom, deeper contraction at the top. That alone wakes up muscle fibers that barbell pressing leaves behind. You feel every inch, every rep becomes a battle between control and power. That's where real hypertrophy starts. And let's talk safety, because incline dumbbell pressing is one of the most joint-friendly heavy pressing moves out there. There's no bar forcing your shoulders into awkward angles. Your scapula can move naturally. Your elbows follow your structure. And if you've ever had shoulder tweaks or chest strains, this press gives you intensity without the injury risk. Here's another truth bomb. Incline dumbbell pressing doesn't just make your chest look better, it makes your entire shoulder girdle stronger. Front delts get hammered, triceps light up at lockout, your pressing mechanics improve across the board. Bench, overhead press, even dips feel more controlled. And once you start progressing, once you're pressing 80s, 90s, 100s with clean form and full range, your physique changes fast. Upper chest starts standing out in pictures. Your posture improves. You look more upright, more dominant, more complete. And maybe the best part? You don't need a million sets. 3 to 4 focused sets a week with progressive overload, proper form, and intensity, and you'll build the kind of upper body that doesn't need explaining. No one will ask how much you bench. They'll see it. Exercise number 3, Bulgarian split squat. Here's something most guys don't want to admit. Your V-taper doesn't just depend on your upper body, it depends on what's below it too. Because you can have the widest back in the gym, but if your legs are thin, shaky, or underdeveloped, your proportions collapse instantly. Your upper body looks heavy, your waist looks bigger, and the whole aesthetic falls apart. That's why you need a leg movement that doesn't just build size, it builds balance, symmetry, and shape. And nothing does that faster than the Bulgarian split squat. Most guys walk right past this exercise, not because it's ineffective, but because it's brutal. It challenges everything: strength, balance, coordination, mobility, and mental toughness, all at once. And unlike squats or leg presses, you can't hide behind momentum or ego. With Bulgarian split squats, it's just you and one leg carrying the entire weight of the rep, and that's why it works. The moment you take your first controlled descent, you feel the truth. Your quads are under constant tension. Your glutes are stretched so deep, it feels like the muscle is being rewired. Your hamstrings stabilize the entire movement. Your core fights to keep your torso upright, and every little imbalance you've been masking for years becomes painfully obvious. This isn't a leg exercise, it's an exposure tool. It shows you which side is weaker, which knee caves in, which hip doesn't fire, which muscle you've been relying on too much. And by attacking these weaknesses head-on, you build legs that actually support your physique, not drag it down. But here's the beauty. You don't need monstrous weights. You don't need 5 plates and a belt. A pair of 20s, 30s, 40s, used with clean form and depth, feels like punishment from the fitness gods. And because it's a unilateral movement, you bypass the axial loading that wrecks so many lifters' backs. Your spine isn't compressed, your joints aren't overloaded, but your legs, they get absolutely destroyed in the best way possible. Bulgarian split squats also create visual shape that machines can't match. They round out the quads, tighten the glutes, smooth out imbalances, and build the kind of athletic lower body that makes your upper body look even sharper. When your legs grow evenly, your waist looks tighter, your torso looks longer, your V-taper becomes dramatic. And don't forget the carryover. Squats feel more stable, lunges feel stronger, your deadlift form sharpens. Even your posture improves because your lower body finally supports your frame. This movement doesn't just build legs, it builds a foundation. The kind of foundation that makes your back look wider, your chest look fuller, and your entire physique look intentional. Not accidental, but as powerful as this is, we're only halfway there. Because to truly reinforce your V-taper, you need raw power, a full-body strength movement that builds thickness, athleticism, and sheer dominance. And that brings us to the next exercise. Exercise number 4, trap bar deadlift, the one that turns average lifters into absolute units. There's strength, and then there's real strength. The kind you can see before someone even lifts their shirt. The kind that builds traps, glutes, legs, and upper back density that no pump workout can replicate. And no movement builds that kind of total body power faster than the trap bar deadlift. This isn't some pretty, polished machine exercise. It's not guided, it's not comfortable, it's not friendly. It's raw, it's aggressive, and it forces your entire body to move a heavy load from the ground to standing, whether it wants to or not. Most people think deadlifts are all the same, but the trap bar version is different. It fixes almost every weakness the straight bar exposes. You don't have to fight bad leverage. You don't need perfect limb proportions. You're not bent forward like a question mark praying your lower back holds on. You step inside the bar. Your center of mass is aligned. Your spine stays upright. Your knees and hips move naturally. Suddenly, you're strong. And that's when you realize just how much weight you can really move. The trap bar deadlift blends the best of squats and conventional deadlifts without the parts that ruin people's backs. Your quads drive off the floor, your glutes slam the lockout, your hamstrings stabilize the descent, your traps and lats hold the whole system together like armor. It's full body tension from your feet to your fingertips. And because the movement pattern is so natural, most lifters can push heavier loads, higher reps, or more volume safely. That means more overload, more stimulus, more growth. This is the kind of movement athletes rely on because it's real, explosive, functional. You jump higher, you run faster, you hit harder, you carry more weight in everyday life with less effort. But for aesthetics, the trap bar deadlift is a cheat code. It builds the thick traps that make your neck look powerful. It builds the dense spinal erectors that support your posture. It builds the glutes and hamstrings that stabilize your entire torso, making your waist look tighter and your upper body look wider. Your V-taper becomes more dramatic because your frame is stronger. And there's another hidden benefit. The trap bar makes heavy training feel safe. Your joints don't take the beating they do with a straight bar. Your shoulders don't get pulled forward. Your lower back isn't forced into bad angles. You get all the intensity with none of the self-destruction. Grip strength goes through the roof. Core stability skyrockets. You feel more athletic, more confident, more explosive. This is the kind of lift that changes how you move, not just how you look. Exercise number 5, weighted dip. You've pulled heavy, you've pressed hard, you've built the frame, the structure, the width, but there's still one piece missing, the movement that glues your entire upper body together and creates that dense, carved look across your chest, shoulders, and arms. And it's not a machine, it's not a cable, it's not a fancy new exercise from social media. It's the weighted dip, the most slept-on mass builder in the entire gym. Most people avoid dips for the same reason they avoid pull-ups, because they're hard, they're humbling, and they expose everything you've been hiding. On a bench press, the weight is balanced for you. On a cable fly, the machine stabilizes you. But on dips, you're supporting your entire body through space, fighting gravity with nothing but your chest, shoulders, triceps, and grit. And that deep stretch at the bottom, that uncomfortable, intense, no-escape stretch, that's where growth happens. You feel your chest loaded like a bowstring pulled back, your front delts stretched to their limit, your triceps lengthened and ready to explode. Then you drive upward, and everything fires at once in a brutal contraction that no machine can match. Dips are raw, they're primal, they're unforgiving, and that's why they work. This movement creates thickness through your entire upper torso, the kind that shows through shirts and makes your chest look like it actually has weight to it. It rounds out your lower chest. It packs size onto your triceps, the muscle that actually makes your arms look big. It reinforces shoulder stability. It tightens your entire upper body chain. And once you start adding weight, oh, it gets insane. A plate hanging from your waist turns this into a strength builder. 2 plates turns it into a mass builder. 3 plates turns it into a lift that separates casual lifters from people who actually train. Weighted dips give you a look you can't fake. They build that dense, armor-like chest that doesn't fold. They sharpen your shoulder caps. They give your triceps that horseshoe shape from every angle, even when your arm is relaxed. And they translate everywhere. Your bench goes up because your triceps aren't lagging anymore. Your overhead press gets smoother, your push-ups become explosive. Even your posture improves because your upper body finally moves as a unit. Old school bodybuilders knew this. Gymnastics athletes know this. Anyone with a thick, powerful upper body has done dips at some point, and you can always tell. But the best part, they scale perfectly. If you're a beginner, you can use assisted dips or bench dips. If you're intermediate, you work with body weight until it feels natural. If you're advanced, you load the belt and become a monster. No matter where you are, Dips meet you there and push you forward. But even with all that upper body size, strength, and thickness, there's one final detail that completes the V-taper. One small muscle group that changes how your physique looks instantly, even with your shirt on. And it's the most overlooked muscle in the gym. Bonus exercise. Cable's lateral raises. You can have a huge back, you can have a full chest, you can have thick arms and a strong foundation. But if your side delts aren't developed, your physique will always look narrower than it really is. Your V-taper won't hit as hard, your silhouette won't stand out, and your upper body won't have that broad, 3D look that commands attention instantly. That's where cable lateral raises come in, the single most important isolation movement for shoulder width. Most lifters treat side delts like an afterthought. A few reps at the end of the workout, a bit of swinging with dumbbells, maybe some momentum if they're tired. But here's the truth. If you want real width, the kind that makes your waist look tighter and your upper body look massive, you need constant tension. And that's exactly what cables deliver. With dumbbells, the resistance disappears at the bottom. There's a dead zone. No tension, no stimulation, no growth. But cables, the tension never shuts off. From the second your hand leaves your thigh, your side delt is working. At the midpoint, the muscle is loaded. At the top, it's contracting so hard it feels like it's being carved out of your shoulder. This constant tension is why cable lateral raises build shape so quickly. They keep the side delts under pressure from start to finish, shaping, rounding, and lifting them without letting momentum cheat the movement. And you don't need heavy weight. In fact, lightweight with perfect control hits harder than ego lifting ever will. A slow lift, a controlled peak, a smooth descent, no leaning, no swinging, no shortcuts, just pure tension. This is how you build that 3D shoulder look, the one that makes your upper body explode visually. This is how you create width that you can see from the front, the back, and the side. This is how you finish the V-taper and make it look complete. And the best part? Cable lateral raises fit anywhere in your routine. At the start for activation, in the middle for volume, at the end for a brutal finisher, a few strict sets, week after week, and suddenly your shirts fit differently. Your silhouette widens, your waist looks tighter, your physique becomes unmistakable. Because when your side delts pop, everything pops. And that's it. 6 movements that actually sculpt a real V-taper. Keep your training simple, push these lifts with intent, and your physique will change faster than you expect. No guesswork, no noise, just the basics done brutally well. And if you want your arms to grow in proportion with everything you're building here, I've got another video that breaks down exactly how to do it. Watch that next. It's the perfect follow-up to take your upper body size even further.